Could 2013 LeBron James save the Titanic sinking? At first, this sounds insane. How is a basketball player supposed to stop one of the most famous disasters in history? But when you actually break the situation down, it gets way more interesting than people think. Because to answer this properly, we need to look at three categories. A, why 2013 LeBron was different. B, why the Titanic disaster became catastrophic. And C, how LeBron could change the outcome. So first, why is 2013 LeBron even capable of this? In 2013, LeBron was basically the perfect basketball player. This wasn't young LeBron relying only on athleticism, and it wasn't older LeBron controlling games mostly through experience either. This was the perfect mix of IQ, composure, leadership, efficiency, and dominance. During the regular season, LeBron averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists while shooting nearly 57% from the field. That efficiency is ridiculous. But honestly, stats don't fully explain how dominant he felt, because this version of LeBron controlled everything: momentum, tempo, pressure. It genuinely felt like he could decide when games ended, and people forget the Miami Heat won 27 games in a row that season. That doesn't happen because of talent alone. It happens because a team stays composed under pressure over and over again. That becomes important later, because the Titanic disaster became catastrophic largely because people lost composure. Now let's move on to section B. What actually happened to the Titanic? In 1912, the Titanic was considered one of the greatest ships ever built. People genuinely believed it was unsinkable, but there was one major problem: overconfidence. Despite multiple iceberg warnings, the ship continued moving through dangerous waters at high speed, and eventually, late at night, disaster struck. The Titanic hit an iceberg. At first, many passengers barely understood how serious the situation really was. And honestly, that made things worse because hesitation started spreading. Some people didn't want to leave the ship. Others didn't fully understand the danger. And meanwhile, time kept running out. Now, another major issue was organization. Lifeboats weren't filled efficiently. Communication wasn't always clear. And there weren't enough lifeboats for everyone on board. So the situation slowly transformed from manageable into complete chaos. And when chaos spreads through large groups of people, decision-making collapses fast. Now, this is where LeBron becomes interesting, because unlike some of the other scenarios we've talked about, this isn't really about fighting. It's about leadership during panic. And honestly, that fits 2013 LeBron perfectly. Now on to section C. How could LeBron change the outcome? The first factor is emotional control. One thing we constantly saw from 2013, LeBron, was composure. Even during massive playoff moments, he rarely looked overwhelmed. And that matters massively in emergency situations, because panic spreads quickly, but calmness spreads too. Now think about the Titanic. People were scared, confused, hesitant. And when large groups lose trust in leadership, situations get worse extremely fast. But LeBron has always been elite at commanding attention. When he speaks, teammates listen. When he stays calm, people around him calm down too. Now, the second factor is communication. One of the biggest failures during the Titanic disaster was confusion, but LeBron constantly directs teammates, organizes positioning, and adjusts in real time. That ability to coordinate people under pressure would massively help during an evacuation, especially in a situation where every second matters. Now, another massive factor is adaptability. Once the Titanic hit the iceberg, the original plan was gone. Everything became improvisation. And one of LeBron's greatest strengths has always been adjusting mid-game. If defenses changed, he adapted. If teammates struggled, he compensated. If momentum shifted, he regained control. That flexibility becomes extremely valuable here. Finally, there's presence. Some leaders panic during disasters. Others stabilize situations simply by existing. And LeBron has always had that effect. When games looked out of control, he slowed everything down. And on a ship filled with fear and uncertainty, that kind of presence could save lives. Now, when you compare both sides, you have a disaster made worse by hesitation, confusion, poor coordination, and emotional collapse, versus a player known for leadership, composure, communication, and elite decision making under pressure? And because of that, the answer is yes. 2013 LeBron could have saved the Titanic.